I love that intro. Demon Phil here with the DemoNation. We got a hell of a show for you tonight. Absolutely. You already know the drill. If you've been here before, I need to see some comments over here. Let me know you can see and hear me. Appreciate everyone that is here. We need to get this shared out and get ready to have some fun. So let's go ahead and give this about another minute or two to go ahead and get this shared out and make sure that y'all can see and hear me okay. And then we're going to have some fun with this tonight. I have got a great guest here tonight. We're already pumped up, ready to go with this. So we're going to get going here very shortly. Hope everyone had a great day, was very productive. I actually branched out, spread my wings, so to speak, and went to Atlanta area here and visited a few comic shops. That was fun. Had some fun doing that. A little bit of networking, actually quite a bit of networking going on. And we'll see what happens from there. But I've got plans in 2 weeks to go ahead and hit quite a few more. All right, Dan's here. Thank you for being here, Dan. Lisa, thank you for being here, and you can see and hear me. Good. All right, so let me go ahead and make sure everything's set up over here. All right, everything is set up on my side. Let's go ahead and make this official. Demon Phil with hell of a show. We are here tonight. Like I said, I got a great guest here, but before we get started, I've always got my sponsors we need to go ahead and thank on there because I do have sponsors and I am thankful for them. So we'll go ahead and start off on that. So we have Totally Rad Comics. Totally Rad Comics is Jim E. Noble. He has finished up with his Indiegogo, finished up just last week, I believe. Did very well on that. His next project coming out, I honestly don't know what his next project is. Usually I do, but keep in mind, Jim never stays idle for too long, so that'll be coming up here very soon. And Luis Torres is here. Good timing, Luis, because Codex Entertainment is our next one that goes ahead and sponsors us. That is Luis Torres. Right now, he doesn't have a current crowdfunding going on, but I know that is going to change very soon, and I will give you details as I find out about that. Third Empire is next. Third Empire currently has Mojo Rising on Kickstarter. So if you haven't checked that one out, go look over there because that is the current one that they have going. And then they've got more behind that'll be coming out, including Mojo Rising Origins, which I am definitely looking forward to. So definitely check them out and see what they've got going on. 1A3 Degree Studio, which is Kara Nicole, Alfred Trujillo. Right now, they finished up with Confessions of a Cosplay Diva. I am anxiously awaiting mine to come in the mail. Should be here in the next day or two. Aside from that, they have the calendar, which should be releasing, I believe, in the next week or two. Don't quote me on that. And then Fire Bitch 2 should be coming out the end of October, if I'm not mistaken. They kind of switched some things up on there to go ahead and make sure that the calendar was coming out with enough time, so we'll be looking for that. Then we have Naughty Fairies. Naughty Fairies is Wendy Steen Shaner. She does not currently have her own crowdfunding going on right now, but if you go ahead and look right up here, see that Comic Unity 2020? Wait a minute, that's Comic Unity. That used to say ClickCon. That's right, because someone said that they couldn't use ClickCon anymore, so they came up with the idea of Comic Unity, which I definitely endorse the name on there because it should always be about Unity. So Comic Unity 2020 online con, September 12th. Do not miss out on that. And in fact, I am sporting, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see. It's official. ClickCon 2020. It's a collector's item now since it is no longer ClickCon. Ha ha. But I'm still going to go ahead and wear it. I worked the shows and everything, or the stores and everything today. So aside from that, we have Nine Realms Publishing, which is Elysian Fields Pyramid Gambit is coming out. Now I have them as a sponsor as well because on the Dark Enterprises side, which is doing the marketing, Dark Enterprises, which is myself and Lisa Malone, we are actually running the marketing for Elysian Fields Pyramid Gambit on there. So that'll be releasing on the 22nd of this month. Do not miss out on that one. I want to see everybody there for the launch on that one. More details to come. We have got Pantsless Pizza. Who can forget Pantsless Pizza? If you don't know enough about that, there are some reveals coming, and I'm not even remotely joking about that. There's some apparel. I mean, there's some reveals coming. And then, with that being said, Comic Unity, of course, September 12th. Do not miss out. Now, we've had some fun talking about sponsors and getting in here and talking about all this. I feel it's time we go ahead and get our guest out here. So let's go ahead and bring him out right now. Here is Jason Pharo.
Hey, Phil. How you doing?
Welcome to the show. Appreciate you being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely, absolutely. I've been looking forward to having you on here. I know you were on Unscripted with us, and we had a blast doing that.
Yeah.
But tonight we're going to kind of delve more into your side of it with the Kickstarter you've got and all, and I've got some other things that we kind of want to find out about you a little bit too.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Now, first and foremost, for anybody that's here that doesn't know who you are, I always like my guests to go ahead and take just a moment to go ahead and say who you are, what you do, and where to find you.
All right. I'm Jason Pharo. I'm the creator of the Convictor and also the other heroes of the aptly named Pharoverse. I'm an independent comic creator, relatively new to the scene. I've been drawing 40 plus years of my life, and only a couple years ago, instead of drawing for myself and making ash cans and handing them out to my friends and all that stuff I was doing as a younger kid, at 46, my son, who's an adult, he said, "Dad, you really should probably make a comic with the Convictor." My son was very much into the Convictor, so he kind of pushed me towards it. And then what's up, Jerry? And then what ended up happening was, I said, you know what? I said, it's part of a bucket list. I said, you know what? Yeah, I think I deserve it to the character that I've carried in my skull for 35 years, and I also owe it to my 12-year-old self who created that character, and that it needed to be a real book, and it became as a bucket list thing, and it just, and here we are. I just started drawing again. I lost a lot of skill. I took about 20 years off of realistically drawing every day. I was raising a family and had a full-time job, all that stuff that comes along with that. And so, long story short, I started drawing again. I had to relearn some things. I had to relearn shading and refreshing up on anatomy and all that good stuff. And so still learning. I think we always still learn. And here I am. And so we're the Convictor. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. Just the Convictor. It'll pop up. We also have, we just launched a website actually today, convictorcomics.com. It's still under construction at parts, but the landing page is there. And believe it or not, we actually have a shop for swag. So we actually got that going too for us. Lots of options for for all kinds of budgets. Nothing, But yeah, that's where we're at right now. You can, like I said, you can find us. You can definitely find us on Instagram and on Facebook. So, and definitely convictorcomics.com. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Now, let me see. We've got Anonymous Crane. Said, glad to be here. Hey, Jason, this is Anonymous.
Yay, one of my followers from Instagram. Good kid. He's from Ireland. Good kid.
Well, very cool. I noticed, I want to go ahead and bring up before we start getting into all this and everything, that whenever we had Unscripted, you brought quite a few of your following over there. It looks like some of them are coming over here tonight too.
I will tell you something. I absolutely have, and this is just, maybe I'm biased. Of course I am, but I have some of the most fantastic followers on Instagram. A lot of them are incredibly passionate about my character and the stuff that we're doing. And I do a weekly stream on Instagram Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We call it Convictor Crossfire. Originally, it started out during quarantine. It was just something to do, to talk about my character and his world and stuff like that. And it just grew into something, amazing. And people just, I define people that are passionate about something I drew 35 years ago. Blows my mind, as a kid. And I said my followers are amazing. They're loyal. They're passionate. They have their own projects, which are amazing. And so I feel very blessed to have such really cool support from my fans of the Convictor.
Very cool. Absolutely. Now we're going to kind of get to know you, the
Sure.
face behind the work that's on here. So I'm going to ask you just a couple of questions on here.
Yep.
Just to kind of get some things out there. So, of course, I'm not going to throw you under the bus and do the Marvel versus DC thing or anything, but there are a couple of questions just kind of find out what kind of person you are. So, First thing I'm going to ask is, what was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up?
Man, I tell you what, Saturday morning, like I'm old, too. So, I was just saying, so 70s, I cut my teeth in the 70s. It was definitely like, I was catching the 60s, the reruns from the 60s of like Spider-Man, the old Captain America, Thor, that Marvel hour or half hour that they had. I watched all of them. I can still sing Captain America throws his mighty shield song and all that stuff right now. So, yeah, it started with that, and that really piqued my interest, and that was my favorite. And then, uh, you know, 70s cartoons, all that stuff. And but in the 80s and all, like even or 70s, Thundar the Barbarian. Like, come on. I mean, that's still one of the best shows out there. Thundar was everything He-Man should have been, but yeah, I was really into that stuff, and like I said, I still love cartoons right now. So I'm almost 50 years old now. I watch cartoons, but yeah, I don't think that's going to change. But yeah, I was very big into those 60 Marvels things, and then like I said, but my favorite. I think my all-time favorite as a kid, and I was more or less an early teen, but I absolutely, and it's still my favorite cartoon right now, is The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers. Like, I absolutely love that cartoon, and I even have it play on my, I have the song downloaded on my audio device. Yeah, even got my little girl sings the song when I play it. So it's definitely yeah, I love that show. That show was anime, but it was like Wild West themed, and that was a really cool show. They had powers. It had everything. So, and then after that, it was Thundercats for me. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you. Your next one here is actually, since I'm more of the darker style, of course. Who's your favorite all-time villain?
All-time villain. Are we talking comics or just in general?
Comics in general, whatever you want to do.
Well, I'll break it down a little because the genres I kind of leave, but I will tell you that personally, Jason Voorhees is my personal hero. So if anybody knows me, and personally, they know that I think Jason is, he has very outstanding morals, Jason. So I think that, he's definitely my all-time favorite slasher for sure. Who doesn't love Darth Vader? But Marvel villain, I would say honestly, I'm really keen on Taskmaster and stuff like that. More the anti-hero, dipping into villainy. I really love Taskmaster, and I lean DC the same way towards Deathstroke. They're both cut kind of from the same cloth for me, so I really enjoy both of those characters for sure. So.
Very nice. I actually like the fact that you went with Taskmaster because he doesn't get enough attention.
He does not
mimic anything.
Yeah, so, that's one of the greatest powers you can get. I mean, that man can go toe to toe with anybody he's able to watch film of, or just in the seconds that he can watch him. Yeah, he does not get enough credit in Marvel Universe for sure.
Very cool. Now we're going to talk about someone who is going to get a lot of credit within the comics and all that, which is the Convictor.
Yes, the Convictor.
So you have your current campaign going on Kickstarter right now. It's doing very well. Yes. I do want to bring up very quickly though, and this is something that I need to have happen tonight. So we're going to start off right now. He is at 99 backers on the campaign. We need to hit 100. So everybody that's here right now, if you've already backed it, thank you. We're not going to say anything.
Absolutely, thank you. Yep.
But I need everyone that's here to go ahead and share that out right now. Go ahead and tag us in there if you will, please, so we can see that going through. But I want to see this thing go to 100 backers before this show ends tonight.
Yeah,
that's what I would love to see. So we can kind of push that. I know that Jason would be more than happy with that happening. So we want to see if we can get that happen on there. But if we can just kind of make sure we're getting it pushed up there to 100 or better, would be great. So we can hit that next milestone that's on there. It looks like Jason may have frozen up.
Oh, are we back?
Here we go. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what the heck that was.
You were just playing mannequin. It's okay. It happens.
I don't know. I'm looking at my connection. I'm like, I'm literally sitting underneath my router. I don't know what happened. I'm just glad we're back. Yeah.
We were just talking about you. It's okay. You can go back and watch.
It's okay.
There shouldn't be anything bad.
Yeah, gotcha. But if anybody that watches my live stream every week, like I have my phone is old as dirt. It's like a Samsung S7 or something, and I'm very much a creature of habit. Like I'll use something till it absolutely just bricks on me, and that thing freezes during the thing, and I have to restart my live. So if any of my followers are here, they absolutely know the drill.
So with the campaign itself, go ahead and give us the elevator pitch first.
Yep.
And then we're going to kind of break it down because I'm going to actually do a share screen here in just a moment. But I want you to give us the elevator pitch first.
All right, I'll give the elevator pitch on the Convictor himself because there's only not a lot of information out there about him. The Convictor is a man very much born of tragedy. He was born an orphan. He grew up in the system. In a very rough city, not too dissimilar from Gotham, a city called Gut City. And once he was 18, he was obviously no longer a ward of the state, or much less a city. So he joined the military. He became an exceptional soldier with the United States Army Rangers. He was highly decorated. He fought in the War of Afghanistan, and he unfortunately lost his entire team in a botched operation. And he was the only survivor of that. Mortally wounded, not mortally, but gravely wounded. He was rescued by a ninja clan that was operating in the area in the border of China and Afghanistan. And they rescued him, brought him back to rehabilitation. The U.S. Army, thinking he was killed in action, that was, so he was, they believed he was killed in action. So that was the end of his military career. They didn't look for him any further. He was rehabilitated in Japan. He found something he didn't think he knew he was missing. He found a family in this ninja clan. He found a father figure. He found brothers, and he eventually found a wife. And he, he was adopted into this clan. He became a full-fledged member of the clan until one night, that clan was erased by a rival ninja clan, and once again everything he loved was taken from him, and he did something he shouldn't have done. His name is Matt Rockland, by the way. Matt did an ancient ritual that he didn't fully understand, a ritual of retribution. So it puts a ninja in a particular mindset it's a one-way street. They do this ritual, and it puts you in a mindset. You can feel, your pain registers, everything registers, but you're so focused on the mission that nothing else matters but the end result, which would be vengeance in his case. He did that. Unfortunately, it opened the doorway to something else for him, attached him to a, I don't want to say too much, but attached him to a deity from a primordial deity. And he went into that. He went and made everyone pay, and he got his vengeance. But unfortunately, his mindset did not subside. And he is always now looking ahead at the next mission. He cannot shake this. That was the catch-22 to this ritual that he did. It never leaves you. You're not supposed to survive it. You're supposed to, it's basically a suicide type of ritual. So, but he survived it because Matt has a unique ability and that he was born with. Not a metahuman per se, but he has something I like to say is a super trait. He has a meta personality trait. He was born with indomitable will. He has immense amounts of will. He cannot be broken. He will not quit, no matter the severity of the injury. He will not stop, and so it's almost to the point of a superhuman ability, and that has also made him the perfect avatar for this deity. So he has to punish the wicked. So the most wicked place he knows was Gut City, where he's from. So he leaves. He has nothing left in Japan. So he heads back to Gut City, and he continues his vigilante work. That is a long elevator pitch, but there's a lot of story to the Convictor, more than people realize. So he goes back to Gut City, and then that takes us to Hunter's Moon. Hunter's Moon, he ends up, at this point, it's about year 2 for him in his career as a vigilante. He has fought, at this point, rogue ninja cells. He has fought terrorist cells. He has fought, supervillains, thugs, you name it, he does it. He is very much stalks the night in his city, and to the point where this takes us to Hunter's Moon. Dracula is not pleased. So Dracula is very much in our books, he is the Lord of the Night. He is the Lord of all things that go bump in the night, and he is not happy that there is something else that goes bump in the night that he does not control. That being said, he decides to send his lapdog, pun intended, the Wolfman, after Convictor to bring the Convictor, his body for study, and or his head back to Dracula. And that's kind of where our story takes us. The Wolfman is sent into Gut City after the Convictor, and they meet up. And now this takes the Convictor extremely out of his wheelhouse. He is not a character that he's used to fighting superpowered people. This is a whole other thing. He is usually the only supernatural thing in his city, but now he's not. So that takes us to our book. So
nice. Now, I mean, there's a lot of story that's involved in there. So obviously, You're going to have more story than what's just in here, because this is not a 412-page book. I mean, it's smaller than that. Right.
A little bit, just a bit. It grew a little bit through our Kickstarter. A couple of our, we added some sketches and stuff like that, and then we added a stretch goal for a 1-page epilogue into it. So we were able to do that. So it grew a little bit. It's a little bit larger than a standard comic. I think we're sitting right now at around 28, maybe 30 pages. I'm not sure. But because we have another stretch goal too that might change that too. So, yeah, we're getting there.
Now, let me ask you this: why Kickstarter? Why did you choose the Kickstarter platform for this one?
Well, I will tell you what ended up happening for me was that
Oh, you froze up again. He's playing Mannequin again. We'll give him just a moment. He's really good at this game. While we're getting him back, I'm going to go ahead and bring the campaign up on the screen so that you can see.
Yeah, here I am. I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there you go. There's the, that's cool.
So I was asking, why did you choose Kickstarter as far as your platform?
Well, originally, this book was originally going to be just, I had a really, really awesome, I get tons of fan art. And that's the other thing too. I just want to reiterate that I get so much fan art from some amazing people that are drawing a character that, again, I created 30 years ago. I am so humbled and honored every single time I get a piece of fan art. Like, I have a wall in my studio dedicated to it because I love it all. And somebody drew a fan art of the Convictor, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed the way it looked. He had a very unique take on the character. So we started talking, and then we just got talking. I said, hey, I was going to make a mini comic. Originally this book was supposed to be just a typical, no real context of the story. It was going to be a mini comic. It wasn't going to be a full comic. It was basically going to be like the Convictor's here, the Wolfman shows up, they fight, not a lot of story. And that was basically it, just something fun to do, because I put a poll up on Instagram, and I just say, hey, what classic monster would you like to see the Convictor fight? And I didn't know. That poll blew up. It just went nuts. And yeah, absolutely. I would appreciate that. Jack Sloan, another great guy. Another guy who did awesome fan art of the Convictor. So we did this poll, and this poll went nuts. I had the Creature in Black Lagoon, I had Dracula, the Wolfman. The Wolfman swamped everybody in that poll. And I think it's just the contrast of seeing, a werewolf versus basically my guy is a ninja. I call him a ninja vigilante. But Dracula was a close second. So we talked about it, and I asked another they said that my friend Dennis, who did the fan art, I said, hey, you want to do the cover for this mini comic? And he was like, yeah. So he drew a cover up, just threw one together, and it was awesome. I'm like, okay, so you want to do all the covers for the comic? And he's like, all right. And then I have my other buddy, Nick, who's a colorist. And I said, Nick, you want to color? It just became something. It started from something here, and it just kept exponentially growing. And what ended up happening from there was it just took a life of its own to the point where we were like, okay, we introduced Dracula in it. So who's controlling the Wolfman? So Dracula came in. And then we're like, okay, became a full book. And we realized at that point, like, although, we could have all done it, but, I could have produced this book, but I wanted to try Kickstarter, honestly. And I was also at a lot of peers that encouraged me to do it, like the boys from Concrete Comics, really, really good friends of mine. Brian Lambert from Wingless, another great friend of mine. So they're like, Kickstarter, like, do it. And they gave me such fantastic advice. I felt super confident doing it. And so we said, you know what, let's do it. The budget wasn't nuts. We just basically wanted to do it to get the book made and obviously pay these guys for their time. And we decided to do it, and it went exceptionally well. And that's, I never anticipated that it was. I mean, I knew we would fund, because it was over the course of the campaign, I wasn't really worried about that. I didn't realize it would do so well, and certainly we funded it in less than 90 minutes, and that just blew my mind. I couldn't believe that. So that's why we decided to do it. We thought it was just it was more of an experiment, and that seems to be what everyone's doing at the time. So I kind of wanted to try it out, and I just wanted to see. Basically, for me, I want to get it in as many people's hands as I can. I mean, people are passionate about this character, and I'm passionate about the character, and I just would really like to. People want to read it. I want to get it to them, and that's kind of where we're at. I figured Kickstarter was the way to do it.
Now, obviously, I backed this.
You did.
I mentioned this on Unscripted, so I'm letting you know right now. I can't financially back everybody that's out there, but I chose this one, and I'm going to tell you right now, this part right here, will I like this book? There's a lot of people that put this on here, and everybody kind of just bypasses, don't look at it, whatever. Always pay attention to what the creator's putting in there, because there's either a reason they're putting it in there or they're just filling space. This is not just filling space. Do you like comics like The Punisher, Daredevil, Spawn, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? How many of us out there definitely like that? I mean, that's just the first part of it. And then as you go through, it's like, okay, I'm saying way too many yeses on here. I don't even need to see too much more of the artwork on here. I'm hooked. You've already got me on this. So what are we going to do more on here? Then I had to have I had to figure out which cover I was going to go with, but that's the struggles that we go with in this industry. So that's the fun part. But you've got that on there, and then you start going into what it's about, and you give more detail because you already had the pitch up the top, what it's about, and then you went into your concept art. I want to bring up very quickly this right here. This is something that draws in a lot of the comic industry out there that a lot of the artists don't use as much. If you've drawn it on a napkin 30 years ago or however long it's been type thing, we want to see that because we want to see the evolution of the character. And this is very cool to see that because this now takes something where it's just a book with a cover. It's great art and everything, and it's got a price on it. What's the value? What's the backstory? And not just of the character, what's the backstory of the creator? Right. By seeing some of the concept art, you can get into that. So I appreciate that, and I want to have everyone else notice this is on here, and it looks great whenever you're going through because you do see that evolution on there.
Yeah, I felt it was important to add the concept art because I want, I too, I am like you. When I like seeing the way, even if it's the character started one way, but then when it gets to the book, it's a little different. I love seeing the evolution of a character. I love seeing that, okay, I see where they changed. They added this or took that away. And so much so we added the concept art a lot. We're adding that. It's actually in the book. So that's a good part of it because people enjoy that, and me personally as a true comic fan, I love seeing concept art. even just rough pencils. Like, I just eat that up. I love all of that. And I figured, you know what, we put up there. I want people to see where our characters are coming from, and they may not look exactly like that come print. They might evolve a bit, but you have the idea, and I wanted people to have the idea. It's one thing to say Dracula's my book, but I want people to see, like, this is my Dracula. So you have options, and
it's very cool to see that, because, like you said, you see the evolution, you see what you're getting into. You can see some of the concept. Again, this is concept, so it can change whenever the book actually comes out and there's more in there. But just the concept alone, you're looking at it going, this could be in here, and I'm still hooked on the book.
Thank you. Yeah, we had we wanted to reinvent some of these characters going into this book, because they're established characters. Dracula has been in a million things, and it was very hard for me to reinvent a character that's been around for hundreds of years in literature and then has been reinvented hundreds of times himself. So we were trying to find a really nice niche for our Dracula, and I think we found it. He's a little more refined, but he's also spoiled, so we're kind of going with that. And so he's a little more he's a little more set in his ways, because he's been alive for thousands of years, So he's very take his ball and go home type. So that's kind of where we're at with our guy. And obviously, you can see our Wolfman is much larger than what you would anticipate any Wolfman that you've seen recently. We did that also on purpose, so we made him much. He's floating around 6'8". So. Yeah, we felt the need to make him bigger because the Convictor himself is a very formidable opponent. The man is, he's former soldier. He's a ninja. He's got weapons. He's got pistols. He's got exceptional hand-to-hand combat ability. Not to mention, he has this battle suit of his, and he's got this mindset where he can really take a beating. And he has the indomitable will. So we had to make something. We had to give the Wolfman. Yeah, the Wolfman's got teeth and claws, but at the end of the day, we had to beef him up because we really wanted to give the edge to the Wolfman in this book, and that's kind of what we did. I don't want to give too much away, but it's not. It may look like it goes a certain way. It might swerve you a bit. So.
You can kind of tell just from this one right here, it's not just the foreground that catches your eye, it's the background as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really see that there's a lot more story involved than just him versus the Wolfman. There's more that's going on. There's more at risk here.
I said this on Unscripted, and I said very much this story, if you were to pull it from any kind of pop culture, this story is absolutely Return of the Jedi. Dracula is Palpatine, the Wolfman is Vader. I'm not saying the Convictor is Luke, but what I'm saying is that is very much, of the same cut from the same genre like that. Like that's the Palpatine is very much pulls the string on Vader, and our Dracula does very much the same with the Wolfman. So,
and of course, this one shows more of the blood splatter on there. Yeah,
that's the gore variant. Yeah, anybody that takes the variant cover has an option between because this book is it's as child friendly as I can make it. There's a lot of action and stuff in it, but we don't go over the top with the gore and stuff. But I put we have that cover as an option for somebody that may want it. So you could pick either or, the gore or the non-gore variant. And this is our Teku, our virgin. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's nice because, it doesn't even have the Wolfman in there.
Nope, no. It's just a virgin.
Yep. It's very different with that.
Yeah. The Convictor's personal hand weapon is up there, so the Teku.
Now, you've got posters. What size are we talking about posters?
We're doing minis, 8x10, because we have plenty of, I think we have 7 posters available. And not to mention ones that were added into the stretch goals. So we went 8x10 with that. We just felt that was a good size for what we were doing at. And that way it can pack nicely with the comics and, no worries about anything bending or anything getting, shipping is always an issue. So we're always concerned about having to, roll a poster up or anything. So the 8x10 fits nice with the comic. And we thought going forward, I mean, maybe a next campaign we might go larger, but we thought 8x10 was a good choice for us.
Well, the mini prints are always good, especially with the 8x10, because that's almost like a backer, a backboard on there as well. Right. So, I mean, it's something extra that you're getting with it.
I personally I love mini prints. Like 11x17s are nice and, and all that, but mini prints for me is just like, I have so many of them. Like I actually gravitate when I do Kickstarters. They got mini prints. Like I usually try to get to the reward tier that has a mini print in it. So.
Attack said you're going to rock.
I'm trying. Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Now we're going to talk about stretch goals, because you're already starting to move along with all this, and also I wanted to bring up what we've got unlocked so far and what we're trying to reach on this, because you've got some pretty cool ideas that you're ready to start releasing out there to let people know.
Yep. All right. Well, we had the $2,500 stretch goal we hit. That was adding the concept art to the comic, so thus making your comic, much more bang for your buck. You're getting a larger book now. And in our 3,500, we actually added this character here. I know the artwork's light, but it was just a sketch. This character here is a character of mine that I created again when I was 12, 13. His name is Hellwolf. He's an Australian mercenary. He's got this helmet that looks, kind of wolf-shaped. It was just something I drew as a kid, and not too long ago, month and a half ago, maybe 2 months, I pulled out some of my old artwork and I just decided to redraw them. It was like one of those things, something I haven't touched in 30 years. I redrew it, and I redrew Hellwolf. I updated a lot of his outfit and stuff. But it kept all the points, all the things that made him that I liked about him the same. And I put him up on Instagram, and people just went nuts for him. I had, I have another character, the same thing happened with, like, people just clamored for that, and he became insanely popular. So popular that we had to add him to the book. It's because the fans just really liked him. They liked his look. They liked his backstory. He just had this this kind of presence to him. So we decided to do a one-page epilogue featuring him, because he is in the book in Hunter's Moon in the early parts of the book. So the epilogue does fit the story. So yeah, we that was great, and we were excited to do it. And so he gets his own little one page, and it makes my fans happy, which always makes me happy, and that they want him. And we put him in there. We hit that goal, and we said, you know what, let's do it. So we put him in there.
So if we've got the 3,500 is unlocked as well, and I know we're over 4,000, but we're so that 100. So what's the next?
I actually got to get in here and update this. That was my plan tomorrow. We hit 4,000. We hit it so fast. I didn't realize because we started at this point at the 3,500. Me and Dennis and Nick had a creative meeting, and we decided that let's do stretch goals every 500 now instead of every 1,000. Not crazy stretch goals, but they're like little things added to the campaign. We never even thought we'd get to 3,500. We didn't. So at this point, this is just amazing to us. So we want to keep giving back as much as we can. So we decided that, wow, we're at 4,000. Let's make that a stretch goal. So 4,000, which we crossed only I believe yesterday. And we crossed that, and we added my cover artist, Dennis, made a really cool, he made it just for us, but I loved it so much, it grew on me. It's called the Convictor, and it's such a Looney Tune type print. He's like I said, if you guys check out I'll have it up tomorrow. Give me a couple hours tomorrow, and I'll have it up there. You can check on it's on the Instagram too. He picture of a kid version of the Convictor, and he's having the Wolfman the Wolfman looks like a dog, and he's gonna have him fetch a hand grenade. That is just that picture. I saw it, and me and the guys on the team really liked that. I said, you know what, we should get this out because it's different because at a certain point everything's like Hunter's Moon, everything's Wolfman, Convictor, Dracula, so we wanted something a little bit related, but also a little less intense. Something that's just funny. And I said, you know what, we're sending that. So we did that, and we also got we're also doing a Convictor logo sticker that we're putting in with that as well. So beyond that, we actually talked about our next stretch goal, which is going to be 4,500 if we get there. And 4,500, we're looking at doing, like a rubber bracelet, something like this, with the Convictor logo on it. And also another sticker, Kid Victor sticker, actually. So the Convictor is very popular. I've gotten a lot of DMs through Instagram, and people really like it. My little girl likes it. All the little kids like it. So I was like, what? Let's make a sticker. So we're gonna make a Kid Victor sticker and a bracelet going into the 500. We might add something else, but that's right now. That's a definite. That's what we're doing. So
very cool.
Everybody likes tchotchkes, man. I know I do. I love all that stuff. I love it all.
Yeah, I've got a small tote over here full of them, and I'm finally getting to the point where I'm getting some ideas of what to do with all the stickers that I've got, because they say put it on a poster board and then hang it up behind you like a big poster.
Oh, that's a great idea, actually.
Just a whole bunch of different stickers, and I'm like, that can get interesting.
That's a great idea, because I'm like you. I have enough stickers for you name it. I could cover a car with them.
Now, the next thing I wanted to bring up is, of course, with the campaign. A lot of people go look at it and they'll say, I just don't have the money right now. And sometimes you don't and everything, and that's fine. And like I said, there is no pressure on this by me or Jason to go ahead and get on here and financially back. But what I want to bring up is, whenever you're sharing this out, point out this right here. You see this right here where it says $6 or more, and then it actually says physical issue. How many people do you see out there that actually have the physical issue that starts that inexpensive on there? So it's very cost efficient on the tiers that you've got on here, because you've got something for everyone.
That was intentional. When we were creating this, my main goal was I wanted, and this, not aside from the fact that it's our first Kickstarter, but I wanted every person that was even remotely interested in my character, and even from my followers and the fans of the Convictor, just people that knew about. I want anyone and everyone to get a piece of it, no matter what, And I wanted to make sure that they could, I wanted it cost effective. I'm not trying to make a profit off of this. I'm trying to get this book in people's hands that want to read it, and that is my only goal. And so I wanted to make sure that it was affordable for anyone that wanted it. And, I didn't want to, and I know what you're speaking. I've seen like $10 books, $15 books, and, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I didn't want to do that, not going out of the gate like this. And this is a character. There was a part of me that if you didn't follow us on Instagram or whatever, and you just came across it through Kickstarter, I didn't, even just reading what you read, what you would read through on the actual Kickstarter, on the launch, on the page, and I didn't feel right asking $15 for a book that no one's emotionally invested in, that people don't really know this character. I want you to get it for like a reasonable price, and then maybe you'll fall in love with the character, and then you'll maybe, you'll seek out more content from us when we do that. That was our goal, and I think that will continue to be my goal.
And it is, like I said, it's really cool, because you can go in there and select your tier on whatever you wanted to go with, and that way you can at least get something on here, which is good, because this is the origin story, or this is at least where it's starting off with first appearance anyway, because you said this is like 2 years after.
Yep. This is about year 2 for him as a character. So he's quite. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. He's a character that's very much. He's very much into year 2 of his activities, and so this is a good test for him. That's why we threw the Wolfman at him. So it's going to be early on, because the Convictor's got other stuff coming down the pipe. I'm sure you know about that. He's got some other larger adversaries, some other stuff coming. So I wanted to get the easy fights out of the way.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's a character, and you're going to get a taste of what he can do in this book. That was my intentional goal. You will see. I won't delve too deep because you're going to come out of this book with questions on the character, and that's intentional. Things will be just grazed upon, also intentional, because this book is done so well through Kickstarter already that we're already discussing sequels, and we left it open-ended on purpose just in case that it did do well. And it's because there's still plenty of other things to explore in this little microcosm of Hunter's Moon. So we left it open, and it's doing well. So it's definitely going to be a sequel to this book for sure in the near future. And I said I want to get the easy fights out of the way because I got some other stuff coming next year. So.
That's very cool because I can actually see some other things happening because the next thing that I wanted to bring up is you're actually underneath the Covenant banner. So
no.
Well, ish. Yeah, I know.
Ish. Yeah. I mean, sort of. Yeah, it's like a weird. It's like a.
Right.
It's like the Sony Marvel deal. Is that puts it into perspective? Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, but there are options for collaborations between characters and everything through that is what I was bringing up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So even if you think that this is great within the storyline and you've got all this going on and you think this is as good as it's going to get, there are other characters that you can either join forces with or go head to head against. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, we got we call it the B versus C. That's coming. So that's coming like winter next year. So that'll be kickstarted for sure. That's going to be a monumental crossover there. So, and absolutely. Like I said, Jesse and I are, we're talking about Burlap. If anyone doesn't know, if you haven't seen it, Burlap and the Convictor will be facing off. Two peas in a relative pod. Those two guys, in a sense, they both have supernatural tendencies, and they're both pretty damn unstoppable. So it's going to be an interesting meetup for sure. So especially the story that Jesse's been cooking up and that we've been discussing, it's definitely no one sees this coming, and this is going to be the best part.
Very cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Now, lastly on here, I want to go ahead and ask you, I always ask my guests, what's in the future for you, but I want to kind of ask, what else are you working on that's going to be in your future? I mean, it may not be strictly Convictor. Maybe it's something else you're working on.
I am actually currently right now, I am working, before we did Hunter's Moon, like I said, that took a life of its own. I was in the process of doing a rewrite of a Convictor story that I did myself when I was in the 90s. I used to draw this comic strip, ash can comic strip or whatever I put up in my high school every week in the art room. And people, I put up every week. And so when I decided that I was going to redo the Convictor, I said, you know what? I'm going to revisit this storyline. It was, it's basically, the Convictor versus thugs in a very narrow alleyway. So it's very noirish, in a sense, because it also shows, that, I had the original story. So I was working on that before Hunter's Moon grew. I was well into that, and Hunter's Moon just started taking a life of its own. So I was already 7 pages in. That book I'm talking about is called Resurgence.
Yes.
It's called, because I write my books as a novel type. I don't number them per se. So everything's kind of like a James Bondish kind of thing. So it's the Convictor and then a title, and believe it or not, actually, one of the things that actually inspired me to do the Convictor was, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Mac Bolan, the Executioner, like those books from back in the day, like Phoenix Force and all that stuff, Stony Man and all that. That really, the Convictor was born out of some of that stuff as well. And so I was working on Resurgence. Hunter's Moon kind of grew on its own, so Resurgence got pushed back. Resurgence will be next. That'll be the next book we're doing. I said we're about I'm already 7 pages in on that previously. So, and that's coming out of Hunter's Moon, that's gonna show people that the Convictor is not just one type of character, because I think that if you just look at him as a character, you end up seeing, you think I get this a lot too, you think he's either the Punisher, or you think like he's, he looks like, Deathstroke, or he looks like, I've had people say he looks like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat because he has a yellow mask. I don't know. He gets compared to Spawn a lot, which I don't get. I don't understand. I guess because he has green eyes. I don't know where the connection is. Two completely different characters, but it happens. And again, actually, McFarlane really steered my art in a certain direction. Like, I got detail nuts after watching McFarlane stuff. And now if you look at any of my drawings, I sometimes spend too much time detailing. And but yeah, so Resurgence would be the next one that we're doing. That's actually going to show a different side of the Convictor. It's going to show more of a noir, vigilante versus criminals type of book, as opposed to some supernatural stuff, but not like werewolves. And so I want people to say that he's a much larger character. His range is broader. He's not typically just one way, and I think people will start getting that sense with him. So, and yeah, other than that, like I said, we have a whole timeline put together. I'm sure, like you said, you saw that. We got lots of stuff that we're planning, a lot of mini books and fun stuff. And then I got that thing with Jesse. That is the elephant in the room. That is a looming thing, and that is gonna. When we introduced that, I think we broke the internet that day, because I don't think anyone saw it coming. Jesse and we became friends during the middle of his campaign, and we became fast friends because we actually had a lot in common, and and we just gravitated towards each other. And then just Burlap, I couldn't get enough of Burlap as a character. And Jesse says his name's not Burlap. I said, that's okay. The Convictor's name is not the Convictor. It's just what people call him.
Right.
But so the character, they just had so many similarities overall. And so Jesse and I got talking, and one day I said, man, we should, Jesse's like, you want to do this? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And I said, let me get a book out first, because nobody's going to have any idea who I am. So, yeah. And that is the elephant in the room. We can't wait to do that. I cannot wait for that. So,
before you can actually go into bionic running, where that one's going to be, you have to start crawling first.
Yep.
Your crawling is actually getting a lot more attention at a very fast pace, which is good. I want to check it one more time and see where we are, and see if we are at 100, to see if anybody has helped us out with that one, to see if we were able to push. Again, if you've already backed it, or if you don't have the means to financially back it right now, share this thing out.
Yes, please. Sharing is everything.
Backers on here.
Sharing is amazing. If you can't back us, just sharing is everything.
Absolutely. Now, we are still at 99.
Okay.
What I want to say is we have until midnight tonight, so let's give it a little bit of time on here.
Okay. All right.
Because I don't want to carry this show over for a couple more hours type thing or anything.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and just say by midnight tonight, we want to see this with 100 backers on here or more, so that we can go ahead and surpass that. And there's a reason that I want to see this in the worst kind of way, and that's actually going to go with my closing statement that I'll be giving here shortly. But it's a great campaign. I mean, you need to go ahead and be a part of this in some way, form, or fashion. Again, if you cannot financially do it, then share it out. Be a part of it that way, because this is actually, it's funded. It's happening.
Yeah.
We want to get more money in here so that we can get more stories to come out in the future. I mean, that's exactly
that's my plan. Like I said, I'm not looking for profits. I'm rolling this stuff right into more production. I just, this is my dream as a little kid. Like, I'm not stopping. For never in a million years did I think that the Convictor would land, and he would land with like literally a superhero landing. As somebody that I drew, like, he's here, he's arrived, and he had a lot of, and I think that was part of our success of the Kickstarter. He had a lot of attention of folks before we ever launched the Kickstarter. He had, I called Jesse Barra. I called him. I said, Jess, I'm gonna do this Kickstarter. I'm kind of terrified about it. And Jesse's the only person that told me, you're gonna fund. He's like, Jesse says, I have a feeling you're going to fund quickly. He said, because you've done so much with your character, and you're pretty active in the community, helping others and stuff like that. He said there will be your character. People are aware of him, and you never even made a comic. A lot of people are aware of him. And he said, and if you say the Convictor, if they aren't aware of him, they've heard something about it. And I said, after the campaign funded and so fast, I said Jesse, man, I said I was like, Jesse's like, I knew you were gonna do it. It's no problem. I had total faith in you. Jesse's amazing. So
Absolutely. And okay, Lewis, if you want me to say the words, I'll say the words. It's got the Demon Phil seal of approval. You already know it.
That's a great seal of approval. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Actually, whenever it comes out, I was going to ask you, and I'm going to kind of put you on the spot on this one, but whenever it comes out and I get a hold of it, I would like to do an online review of it if that's okay with you.
Please, I would absolutely love that. Like I said, I'm always one, even for critiques. Like I like taking that stuff because it just helps me better. I just want to do the next thing will be. So yeah, I would love it. Phil, absolutely. I would be amazed if you would do that. That'd be great.
Absolutely. That sounds great. I keep refreshing over here. I want to see this go to 100. It's not going to do it just before I finish out the show, apparently, but
that's all right.
We have until midnight, so we're good on that.
Absolutely. And we'll get there. No worries.
I can keep you on here all night. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to go ahead and cut this one off here very shortly. What I want to do first is go ahead and give you the floor to go ahead and say one last time where we can find you, and definitely plug the website because the swag is looking good. I'm loving the t-shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, it was something we just started. It's convictorcomics.com. We just launched the website officially today. It's still under construction a little bit. We have some, but our Kickstarter link is on there. You have our Instagram and our Facebook buttons are on there. We even have an email sign up on there. So if you would get on and sign up, that would be great too. And it also takes you to the Convictor shop, or it's also called the Pharoverse shop. It takes you there where we have tons of Convictor stuff for plenty of folks. Yeah,
there it is.
Right. Awesome.
There it is.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I really, you made me. It's still just the fact that 100 people even want this book still blows my mind. So this is great. Thank you very much.
I want to see that.
Yeah, thanks. Good job, Phil. I really appreciate that. Hey. So we got shirts, we got kids shirts, we got women's shirts, we got quarter sleeves, we got we got really cool sweatshirts that say Convictor Comics on the sleeve. We got all kinds of stuff. We launched it today, so it's out there, and the website's going to grow. We still doing, we got lots of more things we're doing. I had a really good friend of mine named Bill that really helped me out with it. Really fantastic supporter of mine, and we're just taking it. And eventually, when we have our Kickstarter come in, we'll have inventory for books on there. We'll have books available for those that didn't get it. You'll be able to get it, from us, and it's just going to grow. We got posters. We got lots of stuff we're going to be throwing on there. We have a lot of ideas, tons of ideas. So, but you can find us on Instagram, The Convictor. We're on Instagram. I have a personal art page, Jason Pharo Art on Instagram, and then we have our imprint, the publishing imprint, which is Pharo's Creative Studios, also on Instagram. You can find my cover artist, Dennis Valencia. You can get him on Instagram. It is DRV or DR Valencia Designs, and or my colorist Nick Lee Colors on Instagram. Both phenomenal guys, both up and comers. I'm very fortunate to call them my friends and my teammates. And you can find us on Facebook too, Convictor, as well. So we're all over the place. We're everywhere. But our home is primarily Instagram. Instagram loves us, so we have a lot of great, fantastic followers on Instagram. I love all you guys.
Very cool, and your followers are all over this too.
Yeah, they're. I'm telling you, they are some of the best people. I ask them to do something. They're on my, they do the stream with us, Convictor Crossfire every week. They're on there, and they're just so interactive and engaging. And we talk about, the Convictor, and we talk about other comics. We talk about all kinds of fantastic stuff, and they're just some of the best followers. They're always they're interactive, they're engaging, and I love the fact that they are interested in what I am doing in something. Again, as a 48-year-old man, you would ask me 12 years, would I have a comic at 12 years old, and I'd say, oh, I wish, I want to draw comics, and all that stuff. That it took me 40, almost 40 years, but here I am. So I'm doing it, and I'm living a fantastic dream of doing this, and I can't do any of it without the backers of the Kickstarter. None of this is possible. This book wouldn't even happen without any single person that chose to take a risk on me and a character that I created as a kid, and then now I have 100 backers, and my followers who just are, they just love the Convictor, and they draw them all the time. I get fan art. It's amazing to me. It humbles me to know just no level. I love it, and I can't get enough of it, and I just appreciate every single one of them. And like I said, none of this would happen without them. And I will never forget it. So I'm definitely not that type. I'm a fair person, and that's the other thing too. If you back my campaign, I back yours. If you got one going, I'm that guy. I am absolutely that guy. I am 1,000% completely. Oh man, Lewis, thank you. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very much. You back me, I back you. And I'm a fair person. I'm fair to a fault, if you ask my wife sometimes. But yeah, I'm just that way. And so you got a campaign going. You're hesitant on mine. Back me, I back you. I'll do whatever. I love just supporting the community. I love it.
Very cool. Jason, I have enjoyed having you up here and everything, and I'm looking forward to having you back on Unscripted. If you want to have another seat on there sometime, let me know.
Absolutely. Anytime I get pick on Jim, yeah, man. I came out there like, I don't think anybody was ready for me. I was like, I don't say a lot, but when I say it, it's pointed sometimes. So, but that was a good time. I had a great time doing that. So.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop you back in the green room right now, and I'm going to do my closing statements. I'll be back there very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
All right. So we had Jason Pharo up here. We had a great interview, and thank you for getting him to 100 backers. That is amazing. That kind of brings me into my closing statement. I always have a closing statement. Tonight's not going to be any different. The only thing that's different about this one is it's actually something that Jason and I were talking about in the pre-show that I want to go ahead and bring up. So I actually, in case anybody didn't know, I actually went out today. I put a post up that I was spreading my wings and going to Atlanta area to go to a few comic shops. Overall, it was a good experience. There was one in particular that I went to that whenever I mentioned myself as Demon Phil, he came back with, that's the voice of the indies, right? I have been called that a few times now, so I want to go ahead and bring up something about that. I am incredibly humbled, for one thing. Thank you for that, because I try to do what I can to try to help out as many people as I possibly can. However, the voice of the indies, I am the funnel. Everyone that's here right now, everyone that'll be watching this later, that's the voice. So I say it on every single show, and I cannot stress it enough. One pebble in a pond creates a ripple. Several people throw pebbles and rocks out there in that pond, you get the waves of change. The waves of change are happening. Whenever I talk to the shop owner today, I've got him incredibly interested in indies that I will be presenting to him. So those that are Demon seal of approval, those that are out there that are showing the passion in their work, those that are willing to go ahead and put forth the effort to go ahead and get into a shop, I got you covered. And I'm about to start reaching out to some people starting tomorrow. So waves of change are happening. And if you think you've got no power in this, it starts with just sharing is all you have to do. And then if you go to your local LCS or you go to online and start looking at some of these places, present it. What's the worst they can say? So again, one pebble? No, I'm not happy with that. Let's go ahead and get some waves of change going out there because we're already starting it. Let's finish this strong. So until next time, you already know. Demon Phil, DemoNation, it's been a hell of a show. Keep it indie, y'all.